Welcome to The Dark Room. This is a series of insightful media reviews that searches for deeper meaning in the stories you already know. Tonight we will journey to a land far, far away as we take a deeper look into the film Shrek.
With an estimated production budget of $60 million, Shrek has already become one of the most watched DreamWorks animations of all time. You don't need to worry about the cost, however, and it has already earned $500 million for its producers.
As there have already been 4 Shrek movies, we went to the streets to find out what people remember from the first Shrek tale.
Okay, so Shrek is a film about this big hairy ogre who's really disgusting.
During the course of this adventure, he falls in love with, I can't remember what her name is, but the Cameron Diaz character, who is ugly underneath, as it were, but she starts off being beautiful, and then they fall in love with their true selves, basically. So the message of that is beauty on the inside.
First Shrek, I enjoyed the first Shrek. It was very good. I like the donkey. He was the best, really. I thought out of all the characters, obviously that's Eddie Murphy.
Shrek is a lovely love story about not about how you look, about how you feel about somebody from the inside, and that's how I see it. It's a very good story, a very good moral story for children. So.
Well, it's about this ogre, and he gets the prince who makes a big petition against ogres and other fairy tale creatures. And so he has to go to the prince, and he speaks to the prince, and the prince is like, if you go find me a wife, I will let you live in your swamp.
Okay, well basically the story of Shrek is like an ogre, really ugly, like an ogre, and he like lives by himself, is really miserable, no one likes him, and there's like Prince Charming who's like really attractive, really good looking.
Yeah, as well, it's a love story obviously about a princess falls in love with an ogre, gives him a kiss, and obviously she turns into an ogre as well, where it's normally the opposite way, isn't it? So it should be the other way around. It's all like when a princess kisses a frog, I suppose. So yeah, it's good. It's a good film. I enjoyed it. It's more for the kids though, more for the kids.
The prince comes along, and he's very short, and he's trying to make himself look much better, but obviously is only happy to have her as a beauty, not as a love of his life. Is probably the part that I remember. And then seeing Shrek very upset because obviously he's fallen in love with her. That's it.
It all starts because he's being about to be kicked off his land because the prince ordered all these people, like they're all different like fairy tale characters, like Sleeping Beauty and people like that, to go and live in his swamp. So he goes to the prince to complain, but then he says that he'll give him his swamp back if he goes and gets the princess for the prince, but then he falls in love with her. So he has to sort of fight for her, but she's actually an ogre, so.
And there's Fiona who's like a princess, and all her parents want her to marry obviously Prince Charming because he's the like amazing in the land, he's a prince, but she doesn't, she falls in love with the ogre. So it's about like moral, it's kind of like about morals. It like teaches little kids about like morals, like just because someone's ugly, just because someone is attractive means they're ugly on the inside, and do you know what I mean? And Shrek's like ugly on the outside, but he's so nice on the inside.
So he goes and climbs to the top of this tower, and there's this dragon that's attacking him, and then there's a donkey with him, and he rescues the princess, and then he goes back to the prince, but then on the way of taking the princess back to the prince, he falls in love with the princess. And the best bit is probably the donkey, because it's just a really funny character.
When an ogre named Shrek meets Princess Fiona, their unlikely romance begins. We discover that he is not as horrible as people perceive, and she is not always the pretty princess we would expect.
The story follows Shrek through his transformation from an aggressive ogre to a lovable husband, to the love of Princess Fiona. However, the journey was at no point easy, especially with his trusty steed by his side every step of the way.
Today we have Camille Beauxedin with us as our guest, who has watched several of the Shrek movies. She is the chief producer of Sky Channel 219 and has some great insights into the Shrek tale, which you won't want to miss.
After that, I will come back to share a deeper analysis of the film itself. Why do we find it natural to quickly label people before getting to know them? What happens after the curtain closes in fairy tales? How do fairy tales impact our notion of reality?
We'll be back right after the break. Don't go away.
Love each other in the same way I have loved you.
Honey?
What? Don't you see I'm working here?
Okay, sure.
Be kind. Show patience. When is supper going to be ready? How long
It's
am I?
ready, honey. That's what I came
why
in
don't
to
you
tell
say?
you.
I'm starving here. Be considerate. Understanding. Soft spoken. Slow to anger. What is that noise?
Here.
Thank you. And shut the door behind you.
Do you mind if I ask you how it's going?
Well, it's pretty good actually. It's about love, and I think it's exactly what our congregation needs to hear.
I wanted to learn English.
I wanted to ministry.
To have a church for the people of the streets, the wounded, the rejected.
To get both a theological perspective but also a psychological perspective of what human beings are.
I wanted a more theological base and a more steady base, and not just opinions or things that I think about the Bible, but to know more.
It's being opening like a new world.
Misunderstood? Everybody makes mistakes. But don't let it define who you are. Start fresh.
Welcome back to today's episode where we're talking about Shrek. Our guest today, Camille, how are you? Welcome.
Thank you.
Your name is Camille Bocidan.
Yeah, that's right.
And where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
You're from Brazil, brilliant. And what is it that you do?
I'm head of programming and also an executive producer.
How long have you been doing that for?
Not too long now. It's been about 4 months.
2 months? Wow, that's brilliant. What made you go into that kind of work?
I graduated over here. I've studied communication studies, and I'm a film lover. I'm a media lover. So
that's what we love to hear. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
So today we are talking about Shrek. Now, have you done any special productions so far in the work that you do?
Because I'm kind of new, any productions that I'm working on at the moment are quite special to me.
I like to hear that. Well, so we have Shrek, and that's, I believe it's DreamWorks and Universal together. And the visual display in Shrek is amazing. We have the different characters, we have the different worlds, we have like the snow. What did you think of this great visual display?
It's actually brilliant, you know, and the merging that they've done with all the characters, you know, the magical creatures and all characters from different films, you know, it's brilliant.
It's amazing. The amount of characters that they come up with.
Yeah.
You just see the pigs, we have Donkey, we've got Shrek, we've got the short Lord Farquaad. It's great, the imagination.
The blind mice.
The blind mice is great. Did you like that? The collaboration of like getting lots of different fairy tale creatures.
I loved it. I love the Cookie Man and all that. It's great. You know, the behavior is completely different from what you used to see. So I think it gives you a more witty image of all that.
Yeah, because I think we only have a few humans in the entire film, don't we? I mean, there's Fiona, she's a human, and then we have maybe some courtiers with Lord Farquaad, but the rest are crazy characters like Shrek and mice and fish and things like that. I think the visual display is actually brilliant. But what really, for me, is special is the weird combination of Shrek and Fiona. What do you think about them as a couple?
They are completely the opposite in the beginning. He's all, you know, grumpy and I'm an ogre. My image is of being a bad character. And she's all sweet princess.
The
I need
typical
to have,
princess.
Yeah, I need to have the true love and all that. And my lovely prince. So completely the opposite.
So, in your opinion, have you experienced this type of Shrek Princess Fiona relationship in your personal life?
Yeah, and I think almost every woman have to have that, because sometimes men can be a bit of an ogre and women can be a bit too dreamy, you know, wanting to be a princess.
I like that. I like how you balance that out. Guys can be ogres and we can be too dreamy. I would have just said guys are ogres at some time. But yeah, their relationship is brilliant. Just how they're so opposite, as you said. They're worlds apart. Shrek, he's an ogre and she's a beautiful princess. So the journey that he goes on, Shrek is sent on a journey by Lord Farquaad to get Princess Fiona so that she can marry Lord Farquaad. Would you have gone on that amazingly treacherous and scary journey for your husband that you are married to now?
I think so, yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be pleased to hear that.
I hope so.
When he sees it. Well, I think that's lovely because we have Shrek changing for Fiona throughout the film. What can you tell me about the changes that he makes?
In the very beginning, just after he rescues her, and she said, "Oh, you're my rescuer, so you must be my true love." He actually laughs about it. He said, "No, it's not possible. You don't know me. I wasn't born for love and all that." But as he gets to know her better, he actually starts feeling for her as well, you know, and he starts completely changing his behavior. He starts becoming romantic, getting flowers and getting her food. So he changes for her, basically.
So we see him changing to win her love. And we see her hiding something. Why do you think she was hiding this secret that she has?
Maybe because she grew up, you know, saying that she was a princess and that she had to live in a certain way. And for her to be also an ogre, it was a very bad image for her, because she wasn't beautiful, she wasn't polite when she was an ogre, she wasn't a princess.
It's completely against the idea of the normal looking, beautiful, polite, pretty princess that we've seen in all these fairy tale movies or fairy tale stories. Do you think it makes it that much more special because she was hiding this ogre side, that her and Shrek end up together, even though he doesn't know about her ogre side?
I actually think so, because I think it's from that moment that she starts realizing that it's not something that bad. It's not like being a princess, being pretty and all that. It's kind of a norm, you know, for them. But then when she sees someone else that is an ogre and can be gentle, can be nice, she starts rethinking, you know, and actually I think she sees what she feels for him as well.
It becomes more apparent what she's actually feeling deep down. And what's brilliant is when he finds out that she is an ogre, he's still a bit hesitant, but he does rush to her rescue to save her from marrying Lord Farquaad, doesn't she? And I mean, there's this whole idea of every single girl wanting to be saved by the White Knight. But in this case, do you think it's really special because of what happens after they have their first true love's kiss?
Yeah, she take true love's form. So basically, she says, you know, but you don't like me, you know, because I'm not beautiful. And he actually says, to me, you are, you know. In my eyes, you are the most beautiful thing. So basically, you know, that's it, you know. The whole thing turns the other way around, you know. She sees that that's all she needs to be.
Ultimately, it comes down to what love can see. And I think that's a brilliant story there in Shrek. So who's your favourite character?
Oh, it's Donkey.
Of course. Any specific things that you like about him or just the character in general?
Well, the whole thing, but he's so funny and he's extremely needy, so he doesn't stop, you know, craving for attention and doing everything, you know, to get Shrek to like him and anyone else, you know. He's awesome.
Brilliant. I think we all wish that we had a noble steed like Donkey to get us through the good times and the bad times.
Yeah.
Well, Camille, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Join us after the break, where Sam Nevers will be talking more about Shrek.
The story of Shrek is captivating. The terrible ogre who becomes the hero, the pretty princess who finds beauty within herself, and the donkey who finds a trusted friend. Beyond the humor and amazing animation, Shrek is about the discovery of beauty and value. Shrek is an ogre and by definition an outcast. He embraces this label and becomes bitter and lonely. However, not because he sees himself as completely antisocial, but simply because that's the expectation people have of him. They fear him. On the other hand, Princess Fiona is trapped into a curse, where she turns into an ogre at night. She awaits the charming prince who will release her from the dragon and this ugly nightly curse. As it turns out, she eventually sees beauty in Shrek and decides to keep her ogre face instead. Go figure that one out. Either of them find purpose in each other, which is crucial in our path to happiness. Most of us try to establish our goals and discover our purpose, but not all of us are lucky as Shrek was. He discovered his gift or his purpose involuntarily. What about us? How much energy do we put into it? Here's a short clip that helps us to visualize this.
Do you ever feel like you're running as hard as you can? Your heart rate goes up, sweat pours out of you, you stink like crazy, but the stubborn weight just won't come off? Ever feel like your legs are going flat out, but you're going absolutely nowhere? I do. Same job, same stress, same life. Same old, same old. Purpose? I'm not sure. They say that when God closes a door, somewhere he opens a window.
I haven't finished yet.
I say, when God shuts a door, another one slams in my face. All this running better pay off.
The donkey seems to be attracted to Shrek in a very powerful way. He has a needy personality and depends on Shrek's companionship for his own success, or well-being, we would say. However, Donkey is constantly trying to help Shrek, or at least be there for him. Imagine if we were all like that, looking for opportunities to help others regardless of the circumstances. Why is it that people you would expect the most from doing this simply don't? Watch this. Finally, let's get back to beauty. Both Shrek and Fiona are trying to be accepted and beautiful. Well, mostly Fiona, really. How much of our lives do we spend worrying if we will ever make it? Or calling ourselves ugly or fat or whatever it may be? Is it really worth all that struggle? As usual, this film asks more questions than it answers them. Thanks for watching Dark Room, and we hope to see you next time.